All right, let's talk meal plan. So if you guys turn to page 11, this is where you'll find your meal plan. Now, a few things about the meal plan. Not everybody likes the same type of foods. This is a general outline for you to follow to give you an idea of how to eat, but you'll feel free to swap out anything you don't like. So the basis around this is eating each meal with a healthy fat, a carb, and a protein. Doesn't mean the snacks, but I mean breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you always want to have all three of those macronutrients in those three main meals. So if you look at Monday, you'll see that I have oatmeal, which is a carb, and then I have berries as well, which is a carb. You'll see that I have eggs, which is a protein, and I've got the 1 tablespoon coconut oil. That's your healthy fat. So I've got all three of those macronutrients in breakfast. You'll see the same idea over at lunch and the same idea over at dinner. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this macronutrient talk and healthy fats and carbohydrates, remember that I have that cheat sheet in here for you. It is on page 12 that gives you all the carbohydrates, all the protein, veggies, fruit, which are a carbohydrate, and healthy fats. So that's your cheat sheet. So if you're wondering, how do I pair my dinner tonight? So I know I need a carb and I need a healthy fat and a protein, but what do I make? So just go to that list and draw one from each column, and there's your dinner. So when you're swapping foods out, you can swap a protein for another protein, a carb for another carb, and a healthy fat for another healthy fat. So it's pretty simple. So I've made this meal plan with a whole bunch of variety. I've got a couple days down here where there's shrimp and salmon. I personally don't like seafood, so I don't eat that. Although I wish I did, because it's such a power food. It's a power food for the mind and the body, so I've put it in here because it's important for those of you who do like that to consume it. Now, I've got used to eating salmon from a can, and that's about as good as I can get. So I've kind of made it to help gear to everybody, but you're not gonna like everything on this plan. Maybe you don't like steak, so you can swap your steak for salmon, for chicken, for another protein. So you get the idea there, how you can swap foods. Don't hesitate, as long as you're keeping it healthy, keeping it clean, and you're keeping it in the same bracket as carb, protein, or healthy fat. And then you'll also see for breakfast, I've always included a protein. It's very good to consume a protein first thing in the morning because it's going to help jumpstart your metabolism. It's going to keep you fuller longer so that come 10 a.m. you're not getting that crash where you're starving just before lunch. It's going to help level out your blood sugar levels so that you're more sustained. You know, your metabolism is evening out. You're not going on those up and down roller coasters where that's when we tend to store more fat, especially when our blood sugar levels dip. Consuming our body burns carbs super fast, especially when you're strength training. You're gonna burn through those carbs like nothing. So that's why it's good to pair protein with your carbs. So I have some oatmeal for you in the plan. Pair it with a protein. You can do protein shakes. That's perfectly fine. So if you want to have oatmeal at home and take a protein shake to go, perfect. So now I'm going to share a couple tips with you guys. Now, if you have any questions about the meal plan, shoot them below because I'll answer them for you. You guys have to understand the plan and you have to be very comfortable before you start this, because I don't want you going into the program being leery on things and not sure if I do this or that. So don't be shy to ask questions. That's what I'm here for. So I'm going to go into some prepping tips. I encourage you guys to use the weekend to prep your food. Get your grocery haul, packaged foods, like prep them, cut your vegetables, get everything so that's easy to grab and go. I know how busy life is with 2 kids, so sometimes the mornings are so rushed, you're out the door before you have your own lunch, and you're hitting drive-through at lunchtime and on the way home. So I know how easy it is. When hunger strikes, you gotta eat. So if you don't have the food there to eat, you're gonna end up making poor choices and crave salty, sugary foods that won't really help you in your progress along this journey. So that doesn't mean that you can't have treats. We all know I have a huge sweet tooth, so it doesn't mean you can't have treats. I want you guys to try to stick to this because you're in the phase where you're really dialing in to get those results that you're looking for. So a few tips. So we see that we have eggs on a lot of the schedule, the meal plan for breakfast. So you can, on Saturday or Sunday, boil up a bunch of eggs, hard boil them, store them in the fridge. So come morning, they're ready to go. You just pull them out. I'm not a huge fan of hard boiled eggs. In the mornings, I like mine fresh. I like the yolk. I like to dip my eggs, so I eat what I call dipper eggs. So I used to do it the old-fashioned way, where I would boil the pot for 5 minutes or so until it's bubbling, put my egg in, let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then eat my breakfast. I since got what's it called, an egg. One second, I'll get it for you guys. An egg cooker. I got it for Christmas, and it was the most random gift, and it's been a true lifesaver. So this is what it looks like. It's the Rapid Egg Cooker, and you basically put your water in, put your egg in, or however many eggs you want, and you turn it on, and I think it takes like 7 minutes. So you don't have to wait for the water to boil. You don't have to wait for all this. You know, I put my egg in there and I continue packing the kids' lunches, or I continue working on my own lunch, getting the kids dressed. This is all happening in the morning. And then when the alarm goes off, my egg's ready. So all I have to do is just kind of put together everything else. So that's a huge lifesaver. What else? Chicken. In the meal plan for lunches, you can see that there's a lot of chicken. So a huge time saver that I've done, I've been doing it for years, is when I go grocery shopping, you know the barbecue chickens that they have at the deli? They're already cooked, they're ready to go, they're packaged. I buy one of those, and when I get home, I strip that chicken down and I put all that chicken into a container and I store it in the fridge. So every morning I have fresh chicken for my wraps, for my lunch, for whatever I'm eating that day. I have fresh chicken. And by midweek, I usually need to go get another one. So at that point, midweek, I'll go and get another barbecue chicken and do the same thing. Now you can take chicken breasts on the weekend, line them up in the oven, cook them, or cook your own chicken in the crock pot and strip it. The idea here is just to try to do as much work on the weekend or your day off, whatever that may be for you. Maybe you work weekends and you have, you know, the middle of the week off. Try to do as much prep as you can on those days off, so that come the fresh new week, you're ready to go. You have things in the fridge where you can grab and go. Those are some main tips that I use to stay on track. And I think that's about everything else. Like, you can see that you have almonds for a lot of the days. You can take, if you want to go an extra step, you can take little Ziploc baggies or your containers and just count out the almonds and put them all in the cupboard, and they're ready to grab and go. What else on here? That's pretty much it. Oatmeal you can cook, takes 1 minute. The oatmeal that I use, let me show you that too. Since there is a lot of oatmeal on this meal plan, I'll show you how I make my oatmeal. So I use these oats. They're 1 minute oats. I put them in a bowl of some water. I put them in the microwave for 1 minute. When they come out, I add a bit of milk. I like mine milky and gives it more flavor. I put in flaxseed. So these here you can get at the grocery store. It's just It's like pureed or ground up flaxseed, just for extra healthy fat. These are good, heart healthy foods. So I put about a tablespoon of that into my oatmeal with the milk I mentioned. I'll put some cinnamon. Cinnamon is an extremely beneficial spice as well. It's really good for leveling out your blood sugar levels. It's great for that. So adding a bit of cinnamon. And then I do put a little sprinkle, just a little sprinkle of brown sugar onto mine, and then I add half a cup of fresh berries. So I'll cut up strawberries or blueberries, whatever I have gotten at the grocery store that week. I put it in, I mix it up. It's really fast. It doesn't take long at all. The longest that it takes is when I have it in there for a minute cooking. And then while I'm doing that, I can be cooking my eggs in my rapid cooker. But there's so many ways to do this. You can have your eggs scrambled. There's many different ways around following this plan. You just need to find what works for you and come up with a plan where it soon becomes a habit because you're doing it so much. For me, weekends. This is my time on the weekend to make sure I have everything for the week. Okay, so I just wanted to go over that meal plan. Another tip that I wanted to give you is for your water intake. It's very important to drink water throughout the day. Very important. So my rule of thumb is every time you eat a meal, and this includes snacks, drink a cup of water. I carry around about a liter water bottle with me and fill it up as I go. So if you're eating breakfast, sure, you can have some orange juice, just don't overdo it. You can have coffee, it's fine. But have some water after. You know, you go at about 10 o'clock to have your mid-morning snack. Have a cup of water with it. It just gets things digesting easier and just flushing things through. So it's very important to keep your water by your side all the time. Now, I think I've touched on everything for the meal plan. The clean eating principles go hand in hand with the meal plan, so you'll see that on a few of the pages before. What page did I have that on? Page 5. So you know that we always start with breakfast, always. From there, you're going to eat every 2 to 3 hours, or when you feel hungry. If you're feeling hungry, don't ignore it. You must eat. If you feel hungry and you ignore that signal, your body is going to go into fat storage mode. So it's important to listen to your body. If you're feeling hungry, grab a healthy fat. Grab some almonds, grab some protein, grab a Greek yogurt. Okay? Something that's going to fill you up. If you're feeling hungry, don't just grab a carb or a bowl of fruit. It's not going to fill you up enough. So you need the variety. We get confused and we think, well, if I eat a dish of berries and I have some vegetables, I'll eat that, and then a couple hours will go by and you think, well, I'll have another, this time I'll have an orange and I'll have some cucumbers, and then another few hours go by. That's not really doing anything for you. You're getting good nutrients. Those are healthy foods, but you're not sustaining your body enough. You're not getting your protein that your body needs to build muscle. Especially that's what our goal is here, to build muscle, because we know that's the secret to fat loss. So there is healthy stuff that we can binge on and eat, but if we're leaving out other pieces of the puzzle, it's not going to work. Our body's not going to respond. So keep that in mind too. Try to stick to the plan. If you have any questions, please don't reach out to me. No, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I want you guys to learn this. I want you to succeed, and I want you to get off the struggle bus. I don't want food to be hard for you. It's the hardest part when it comes to training. I know it was for me too, but I don't want it to be hard for you, and I'm trying to make it simple for you guys. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, okay? I'll be back and we'll be talking about strength training next. Bye, guys.